Listen, Curtis, I like you, but what the hell are you doing? Back away from the rabbit hole, yeah? All right.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and save us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast, and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts, and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring, and George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
You and a drug-inducer psychosis. This is all Bibi's self-destruction. Bibi, the first really Americanized prime minister. He thought he could be prime minister for life. I think in Israel they have their parliamentary elections on October. Time for Bibi to go. Because even Trump, who used to have him as an appendage, F you, Bibi, F you. I said you would have been in jail.
In quotes, ratified by the president. That's not made up. That's
right.
Real stuff.
But it shows you, as the president gets along so well with Zoran, he's had him to the White House twice. Now they're in solidarity. We both hate Bibi. The world hates Bibi. I hate Bibi. Nobody likes Bibi.
Why do you think that is? Do you think, what is it, if you were to try to summarize what Bibi has gotten wrong, how would you summarize it?
Oh, he just wants to pulverize every perceived enemy of his. 15 years ago, remember at the General Assembly, he had that comic figure of the bomb. Oh, Iran, they're going to have the nuclear bomb in 15 days. That's 15 years ago.
All right, I'm not sure if you know this, but I voted for Curtis Sliwa for mayor of New York City not once but twice, in 2021 and again in 2025. That's no secret. I had his lawn sign out in my front property here, and I still believe Curtis should be mayor right now, but the voters went with Mamdani, and here we are in this Mamdani mess that we're in right now. That would have been a Cuomo mess had Cuomo won the election, and would not have made a difference between Mamdani or Cuomo what kind of mess we would have been in. It would have been just as bad. Life would not be better here in New York City if Cuomo won. So I still stick by, without any regret or remorse, my vote for Curtis Sliwa this past November. But with that said, I believe Curtis Sliwa is treading onto territory that he probably shouldn't tread upon. He says he's not running for mayor anymore, which now that he said that, he should stick with that. I would not made that proclamation, which would have left the door open to run for mayor again, but making that proclamation shut that door on ever running for mayor again. When you say you're not going to do it ever again, that means you have to not do it ever again. Whatever you say you're never going to do ever again, you have to never do ever again. And that's just how it is. That's how people respect you as a man. So I really hope that he sticks with his word. I wish he wouldn't have given that word, but now that he's given it, I hope he sticks with it. It's on a matter of principle. However, still, there's a way to conduct yourself in a way where you could go from being a viable candidate for mayor of New York City to the elder statesman whose endorsement will help other candidates get over that hump and get into the offices that they seek. And in a city with a heavy Jewish community, trashing the Israeli prime minister is not the way to go. Now, you can disagree with Benjamin Netanyahu's policies all you want, but ultimately, we're Americans. We shouldn't care about that because the policies of a foreign country and what they do with their own constituents is really their business. And whoever doesn't like it can leave those countries into countries that have a completely different policy towards their constituents. Like Trump says about here, if you don't like it here, you could leave here. But also, he's getting into this thing where all of a sudden Mamdani and Trump are like this. They're like buddy-buddy all of a sudden, which I don't see that as the case. I believe things are black and white. I believe the lines are drawn, and those lines are very broad. There's no blurred lines. There's no nuance. Things are cut and dry now. There's for and there's against. And if you go into that rabbit hole of nuance, you're dippity dipping into a Candace Owens style rabbit hole. Next thing you know, you're there on InfoWars side by side with Alex Jones going Jew, 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 Jew. And in a city that has a very heavy Jewish community, you don't want to do that. You just don't want to do that. Me personally, if I saw a guy with a trench coat and a hat coming out of some Jewish market, and all of a sudden he's getting harassed and beaten up by a bunch of people, and the motive for the beating is that those people don't like Israel, I'm going to step in, and regardless of what the motive is, actually, I'm going to step in and save that guy in the trench coat and hat because it's an innocent guy coming out of the store, ultimately. So that's what my take on that matter is. I mean, eventually it would have to be addressed that there are people in this world, people in American government, people in American broadcasting that seem to stand to gain something if the average U.S. soldier is an attack dog for Israel. However, that's not the forefront, okay? And by large, I don't think America believes that, nor should they. But for those who want to do that, it's best to not put them in a position where that dream comes into fruition. But it should be acknowledged that there are people with those hopes and aspirations of that happening. If you follow what I'm saying. Yeah, it exists, but not on as big a scale as someone like Candace Owens would say it is. Okay? I believe Candace Owens is wrong on that issue, as I do Alex Jones on that issue. You know, I'm not defending the warmongering zealots. I'm just saying that there's fewer and fewer of these warmongering zealots as the days progress. That's just my take on the matter. Also, someone like Curtis Sliwa should be a little careful with some of the things he puts out there, because now you got people like Sid Rosenberg that are going to hear these things, they're going to hear these interviews, on one hand, say that Curtis Sliwa is not on their mind, and then turn around and call him an anti-Semite based on this interview, that if you really didn't pay attention to him, you wouldn't be paying attention to this interview to even notice. You know, and that's what people like Sid Rosenberg would do or say. And that's just my take on the matter. It's like, I'm sure that Curtis Sliwa is not going to come across this channel. You know, I'm a guy that does YouTube videos that used to do rap songs 15, 20 years ago in a bunch of dive bars in the Lower East Side. So, you know, who am I to him? But it's good that I speak with you, my loyal followers, on this matter, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it all plays out together, shall we? Respect God, watch out for the Illuminati. Tell all your friends about me, stay strong, keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero, MC Too Tall. Till next time.